Hey, this is Anesthetic and Blank Tester, and this is the Splashdown bonus video showing off some of the tracks on hard mode, showing off the ones that change the most. I've mentioned previously, and actually the thread told me this, that some of the tracks change on hard mode. This is the first track, Maui, showing its hard mode right here, and then the normal mode track layout was like the picture-in-picture in the bottom left. I mentioned in the 5th video of the normal career mode that like the first track changes up the most, kind of like they put the most thought into it, kind of to tell you that on hard mode the tracks will change up, and so they've changed the time of day, and they've also changed the actual track layout. You can go back to either the first part of the first video on normal, or just go back and look at the loading screen for the in this video to see that basically on the left side they cut you and sent you inwards toward the island rather than just staying around it. And also, this is Steve.
Yeah, I was about to ask. That's Steve the Fishman, isn't it?
Steve the Fishman with full stats and with the weird jet ski.
Now, does he have a signature move?
Yeah.
Okay, does his signature move involve summoning Cthulhu?
No.
Damn it!
It's called, well, I show it off later. It's called the Crawling Terror.
Oh, Jesus.
So, Everglades second track, the layout doesn't change at all, so I'm not showing it. I'm not showing the normal mode in the bottom left or bottom right, but they do change the time of day. They do add extra obstacles, and I think they remove or add a couple ramps. That's usually the amount of effort that the game developers put into changing the hard tracks. Sometimes they don't even add more obstacles or mess with the ramps. Sometimes it's pretty much the exact same. I'm showing off this level because, you know, it adds some things only brought up in later levels, like those yellow and red alternating, I guess, stoppers. I never really got to explain those in the main LP because there's nothing really to explain. If you hit those, you fall down, so you kind of want to avoid them. But none of these trees were here before in the normal easy mode version, and at the end there's a lot more cars and wreckage strewn about for you to avoid.
Today's deadly descent. No,
not nearly as bad as downhill domination,
right.
in avoiding stuff. But you see right here, there's a lot more stuff than there was in normal mode.
Wow, this place really went to shit. So is this just a one-lap thing? I thought
I set it on one lap. This is single event. I'm not going through all of career.
Okay, I was gonna ask because.
Wow,
that's pretty different.
Three Rivers changes up a little in the middle, sending you kind of on a loop rather than just going in a straight line. And also in other areas, they add on to the track a little more. Like at the top, at this first turnaround, this turnaround is more defined rather than just kind of a gradual turn, so we'll say.
Okay, yeah, that's a pretty sharp turn.
Going further around that bridge support rather than just staying to the left of it. So this track's the third one in the game, so I've shown the first, second, and the third. Because again, at the beginning, there's more kind of, I don't really know if I want to say more effort or more thought. Like, maybe they just couldn't make all the tracks different enough. But one thing I feel is that they only really change, at best, they only really changed the track in still sort of minor ways. Maui was quite a bit different, but it still started at the same part and went around the island in the same direction.
Yeah.
Like, some of the levels might not work for this, but if they were gonna change the tracks up, maybe have them go the opposite way, or just completely redo the track layout.
I was gonna say, yeah, I think for a hard mode, at least for like one or two levels, it might be interesting to see, like, instead of trying to design another track around something where you've already built a track and you've designed the whole level around this one track. Wow. Instead, they just go ahead and say F it to the whole original track, and they just design something new. And I can see that not really working for something like Great Barrier Reef or actually, this is fairly different. But instead of doing something like that for Great Barrier Reef or for Maui, instead they could have done it for something like Venice, where Venice is a city, and instead you could just argue that hard mode explores a different part of the city, and then you've got an entirely new building layout. You can just start from scratch again and just make a harder track. Is this track really harder than the original?
No, I don't think this track is harder. It is different, especially up here. Like, I don't think we even visited this part of Great Barrier Reef in normal mode. So it is new, and actually this is like the 9th track in the game. I guess they got a burst of imagination here, but
I would not say this is a burst of imagination. That thing is just an oval. Well, not an oval, like a distorted circle. That's not really a burst of imagination to me.
Well, when I'm thinking change the tracks up drastically, like make something new out of the same area, you said maybe make a new Venice track. Well, I think with what they have... No, it's not really that big a change. It just adds 1 or 2 areas. But with Venice, they really only had one path to take. But like with 3 rivers, go back there, and it was a lot of water with a couple landmarks in between in the water that you went around. And so I was thinking, if that water... That's the Curling Terror. He just climbs under the jet ski. But in areas where you have a lot of water and then some areas you can go around, why not just send you on a completely new path throughout that lake? Like, again, this lake is pretty much kind of in a defined line because there's a whole lot of stuff in the middle, but I'm trying to think of another area where it's really like a lake and they have a bunch of set up turns and such that you could completely change up. Like, and Nile River, again, not showing the normal track layout because it's pretty much the same, just adding
this dark orange
filter, more obstacles, more definition on some of the turns. Like, you do some new stuff in there, which is why I included it. Also, on hard mode, this is the closest you ever get to nighttime. Like I said, they never use the nighttime effect again, leading me to believe that they had nighttime on a bunch of tracks and then realized it sucked and took it out and forgot about Amazon Normal.
Yeah, that could be it. Honestly, that could be it. Because, that Amazon Normal was fucking terrible. It really was.
I mean, my capture card doesn't exactly provide the most definition, but the thread was saying that they had a hard time seeing what I was doing as well. And I did have a much harder time the first time I played Amazon than when I was recording. Well, actually, not that much harder of a time. I kind of knew where I was going, but I still kept running into obstacles and such. But I picked Nile River because, it adds some extra ramps and some cool moments onto hard mode, even if it really just follows the same path. So, I guess maybe if...
Sorry to interrupt you. I feel like there are less obstacles. Is that just me? Or... Like, it just seemed to me like there was less obstacles in that one than in regular or normal or whatever.
Anyway, if Rainbow Studios couldn't change the tracks around a lot, like they couldn't completely rebuild it out of a certain area, because now that I think about it, 3 Rivers is really the only place where that could have worked, then it's okay if they didn't do so. Also, Bermuda Triangle, you unlock this track by beating hard career mode, so you get Steve and this track, and it's really got almost its own skins on the pieces. Like, it uses the generic ramps, but it makes them look different and makes the buoys look different. And that's...
Is everything supposed to be kind of futuristic or something? Or
yeah.
Well, no, I guess it's Bermuda Triangle, so it's like all kinds of things. There's alien stuff going on. There's like stuff from ancient stuff. There's crashed planes and stuff. Wow, this is actually kind of cool.
Yeah, it's got, I guess, alien or at least sci-fi kind of look to it. And not the same sci-fi look as, like, Tokyo did. I mean, I think they still made a new skin for these.
Isn't that a UFO above you?
That was a UFO that we went under.
Yeah.
So, that they put this much effort into a bonus track that you don't get until you beat the game on the hardest difficulty. I mean, that's not a hard game to do, especially because, once again, if you do really well in hard mode, eventually you just have to come in last and you can keep going forward. Now, I mean, you can't keep coming in last for like 10 tracks in a row, but if you need a break on hard mode, they'll still give you a break, and of course the AI still sucks. But this is a pretty nice track as a bonus track that you don't get to see at first. And also, a bonus video, I'm going to throw in one more ending. This is Kyoto's ending, like if she beats career, and it's also something special.
You think for a Japanese person that would be kind of offensive, and honestly, I don't know which. Hold on, art lead Brad Rumner, was that his name? You should be ashamed of yourself, Brad. No self-respecting graphics, whatever art. I don't even know what to say. That was just.
There was not that much robot in that jet ski.
What the hell was that? Jeez, I'm kind of one. I don't know which was better, Amon-Ra or this. I really don't know.
Well, you could find all of the endings on YouTube, which is why I'm only showing off like my two favorite ones. Also, because I don't really want to beat career mode with a bunch of other characters, even on easy. So that's been it for Splashdown. I don't think I've forgotten anything. Of course, these tracks, like the tracks I showed off, are just like my subjective opinion. Those are the ones I think changed up the most and were still interesting. Or, like, changed up the most.
Whoa. Drop my phone.
Would be a little clumsy over here. So I'll see you guys in Aggressive Inline, which is a
bitch.
No, not really.
No?
But who thought rollerblading could be so extreme? Definitely not us. No,
yeah, no.
Me. Yeah, my sister rollerbladed. That's how unextreme it is. While she was rollerblading, I was out.
Don't offend the roller babies.
Roller babies.
Don't offend the rollerblading goons out there, man.
While she was out rollerblading like a bitch, I was freestyle scootering like a man.
Like a bitch as well. Freestyle scootering. What the hell is that?
I bought a wheelie bar to
Wow.
put on the back of my freestyle scooter.
You know, I had a motor scooter once, like one of those scooters that you like kicked, but it had a motor on it, and I could never get the motor to work, so I took the motor off of it, and then I used the scooter for a while until I realized how athleticism is boring, and then I took it and I made the motor work, and I made a golf ball cannon out of it. That was fun.
All right, I'll see you guys later. Bye. Well, and Blank Test, I'll see you later.
Woo!
Bye.